Hello, two-person echo chamber viewers.
Hey guys.
You've heard us on the podcasts.
Yeah.
And you will notice that the length is going to be a little bit different here on YouTube. And it's because when we were recording I think it was a great intro, especially since it was about, talking about us as a podcast. Someone forgot to hit record on the Zoom.
It was me. Were you waiting for me to admit it?
Yes. I was waiting for you to admit it and to feel
I'm sorry.
Not a ton of shame, but a little bit of shame.
I feel a bunch of shame.
Anyway, this is our interview with AMROS Films.
Look, guys, here's the thing.
Hit subscribe.
Wait. We could have done it again, but Mitch was feeling so lazy that he didn't want to do a second take. And I agreed with him.
Thus the purpose of the podcast. We need someone to be in there like this. No, you've got to do it to perfection again and hit record this time.
Look, guys, if you keep up with us, you can definitely count on this level of hard work and dedication to the craft.
Anyway, enjoy the interview, guys.
Ready?
Let's do it.
All right. Hey guys, welcome to the interview section of what's our
two-person echo chamber.
Oh, yeah, two-person echo chamber. That's the show where wherever Mitch says something, I have to say exactly the same thing back to him, no matter what, whether I agree with it or disagree with it, which is becoming a real issue because he's saying some really weird shit recently. But here we have Annie Rosenberg and Matthew Stannah of AMROS Films here for an interview. We're really excited to have you guys. How you doing?
We're great. We're excited to be here.
Yeah? You getting out a lot?
All the time. My social life has peaked.
Oh yeah. Well, you guys have a lot going on though with this new film though. So is that like the one basis of like communication you're having with the rest of the world, or?
Yeah, it is. We just finished the
casting
over Zoom yesterday. So we
How'd
had
that
a lot
go?
of virtual. It was good.
I mean, great actors. Like, so we have the other actor. He's actually an ADA grad also,
Right.
T-Shy, and but
Yeah, we're casting for our lead, who is an older gentleman.
So I know they were all fantastic, but so it's tough. We have callbacks next week, but we'll see.
And you guys both went to ADA together, which is
well, not together. Like,
no.
I'm
Separate.
I'm a what am I? I'm a 2012. Like I was in company 2012,
And I finished second year 2016.
Yeah, so we're a little couple of years apart.
Okay. Okay. What is the actual American Academy of Dramatic Arts?
Yeah.
There's so many, especially in New York. There's so many where it's like
so many acronyms.
NYCDA, NYAA, PPA,
AMDA.
NAACP.
Yeah.
Well, the AMDA thing, that's really where the fighting happens between the ADA and the AMDA students.
Give me one sec.
Sorry.
That's all right. You guys were saying that you have a horrible, bitter, like Michigan, Ohio State rivalry with
AMDA.
With AMDA. We do.
Oh.
And it's mainly because most people haven't heard of ADA. So when you say I went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, they say, "Oh, I know
AMDA. Oh, yeah, we know AMDA.
Say, no, that's the American Musical and Dramatic Academy.
which, yeah.
It's
and
funny. Like,
I don't want to call out anything, but like AMDA has a very specific nickname that like you don't want to be a part of. Right?
Is it
to
Scamda?
No, I don't know.
The jury's still out.
I say as I have like 2 or 3 friends of mine that have totally gone to AMDA.
Oh, okay.
What makes me laugh is the president of our school is graduated from AMDA.
No way! That's awesome.
That's a traitor.
That's
like she went into enemy lines, like
that's like if Tom Brady was actually like traded to the Jets or something,
Right.
and like really actually went for the rivalry instead of just going to Tampa, which by the way,
Going to a team that we all forgot existed.
Yeah.
But
What
it's
a
great
dumb-
about him right now.
oh, you guys are Kansas City fans, right?
He's a
I'm a Kansas City fan. Like,
Okay.
I was gonna say, where are you guys from originally?
I'm from the San Francisco Bay, so I'm a diehard 49ers fan.
Ooh, Jimmy Garoppolo.
He's our high
At least-
school.
He went to high school with us.
That's right. John,
Yeah.
John, we talked about that last
On
night.
that one night, night we met.
with the fire.
When you were a firefighter.
Yeah, with the fire.
There it is.
The fire outside. Yeah, like.
Oh my God, Mitch, we were we were having
This is
great.
great.
Maybe I was drinking on the job like a little bit too much.
When are you
But-
not drinking on the job?
That was the perfect
I am
job
right
to
now.
drink on the job. Like,
But all of a sudden we're talking at the, just like hanging out. It was a quiet night, so I was really getting to know these guys, which first of all, great. And who stepped outside? I think
I went out for a cigarette.
no, like I think like was it you? And like you ran back into the bar and you're like, dude, all the garbage is on fire. Like it was like a huge like inferno. Like you run outside with the fire extinguisher. Like
Yeah.
how do you work this fucking thing?
I didn't want to tell you. I didn't want anybody to know that part where it was like I was like, how the fuck does this work? I want people to know at the end when I was like, ugh.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
looked
I have a picture of you. I sent you a picture.
Yes.
I sent you a picture. Like,
very cool.
Oh, thank you so much. I really
Really
needed to hear that.
uh,
And are you
that's
from
like-
Kansas City, Matt?
no, funny. I was born and raised in Nairobi, Kenya.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I just adopted Kansas City as my team because I did fantasy football for the first time 2 years ago, and my first round pick was Patrick Mahomes. So
That's worked out well for you, I'm sure.
Oh, it worked out great for me. I won
he's
my
doing great.
I won my fantasy league last year, and the Kansas City won like the
Against
Super
the
Bowl
49ers.
against the 49ers. But this year, yeah. We'll see.
So last
from
year,
Chicago,
Super Bowl must have been a little contentious with you too.
It was a nightmare.
It was it was. We went to the bar and I was just obnoxious as dick.
Yeah,
and
you
like, and it was just like, it was not good.
Yeah.
But,
Well, speaking as a Bear fan, we don't
Yeah.
really know what that's like. So
For the rest of our lives, Patrick Mahomes is going to make us cry. And not just for the regular reasons.
That was a good game, though.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. Baker
Yeah.
put up a sweet little fight.
yes, he
the
did.
Browns, not the Bears.
Yeah.
Right.
The Browns. Or
Raise
you
the
just said
Browns.
Bears.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Dear God, no, not the Browns. No. No. I couldn't do that. This is their first winning season, I think, in the history of the NFL. And
It's not, but okay.
it feels
It's
like
better
it.
than, it's better than normal. Like.
In my lifetime.
That blindly. I was like, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Annie's season with the 49ers just went right down, like, at the beginning of the season. Like,
That was rough.
You guys will be back. That was an injury-filled year.
I know, but Robert Saleh just left for the Jets.
Jets, that's exciting.
That's not for me.
She said she's going to become a Jets fan now
Yeah, what
because
do
of
I have to
that.
do now?
That's worse than being a Browns fan or a Bears fan.
Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself.
Right?
You need to treat yourself better than that, Annie.
I know.
Right.
It's a year of self-care. I can't do that.
There you go. But let's get into some movie stuff, like the actual
Okay.
reason why you guys are here. Mitch, you had a couple comments about these films that we
Well,
watched?
first off, you sent us The Cradle and All and What's Yours is, I believe, the other one. First of all, big fans. I'm not even like a horror person, so like when I was watching it, I was like, oh my god, am I gonna like freak out right now? Because I'm not a horror person. So thankfully, it was not as scary as I thought it was going to be. But it is very creepy, especially in these times. So I wanted to say, first of all, those are brilliant. So well
Thank you.
done.
Thank you.
One thing I noticed that I really liked about the films that you sent us is like I loved like your use of background music, and I felt like it really helped advance your storytelling. I was just curious, like, what goes into like picking those specific tracks, or what? How does that come about?
Mm-hmm. So
She's the mastermind behind the writing of them all. So.
I'm the mastermind behind half of the music. We have an incredible composer that works with our company named Lev Shubin. And he, when it came to Cradle and All, we were really lucky that we caught him at the perfect time when we made that film. We sent him the film, and he composed that piece of music to the film.
Oh, wow.
So that is its own piece of music. It didn't exist until the final cut of the film existed, and then he sat and wrote it as he watched the film, which we were really lucky.
We're also very lucky.
Wow.
He has like a whole like files and files of like things. If he's busy, like he'll send us these files, and like they're all these original, beautifully composed things that we can just pick and stuff. So you know,
Wow. That's a good friendship to have.
he's actually
we met him at the Crooked Knife.
yeah, he was an old regular from the Crooked Knife.
So Lev did the music for that, and then the sound for What's Yours. The turnaround time for that film was insane. We created it
Like 4 days, like
We-
5 days, like was the edit. Like
Yeah,
that's 3 days.
Yeah.
Remember, like
we
Wow.
created that film from conception to a final product. We wrote it and filmed in 3 weeks for a short horror film competition. And which was the Jacob Owens short horror film contest, which is a pretty well-known horror competition that happens every year.
They kind of give you like a theme, like it was a line and just a length, you know. So like,
it had to be under 5 minutes.
Like this time had to be like you just had to use the word pandemic. That's why, like, you know, in any context you wanted, like, you know, like. You know, so we tried to think out Annie thought out the box, you know, instead of like making it about this pandemic going on right now, you know, it made it like a human, like, you know, like, like, you know, so it's powerful. But
Which I think that's a spectacular idea, because there's already been like 1 or 2 big films or like TV shows that come out like with that are like about this pandemic, and it's all a waste. It's really all a waste.
I feel exactly the same way.
it's just more like that's everyone's doing it, like, you know, like because like I own a film festival with a couple of partners of mine, the Last Shot Film Festival, and like we did during the first lockdown, we did something called the Quarantine Project, where it's like a fun little Instagram kind of thing where we ask people to like make little short like 1 minute movies, you know, and like submit it to us, and like we would get everyone to vote, you know, and it was fun. We'd give them a little cash prize. But everyone, it was just all about like, you know, there was too many just about the corona pandemic, you know, like
so
it was like everything was about that. So
Well, no one wants to be reminded of what this year was like.
what's going on, like,
and also like how much of an interesting human story can you tell about something that literally every human experienced?
yeah,
True.
like
I think there needs to be like a point of reflection eventually, you know.
like I can't believe that, like, you know,
Yeah, like as a significant thing that happened in our lives, but I'm not even sure like people are aware of the specific like PTSD that they are going to be going through soon about this. Like I think that there is a deeper conversation to be had about it soon.
Yeah, that's
but
fair,
right now you can't diagnose yourself while you're in it, you know, like it's just not useful and not feasible, really.
yeah.
Absolutely. I mean reflection is what's going to bring the profound art out of it, and we're not there yet.
Yeah. So, but speaking of creating art out of this, is AMROS Films, I noticed when the Instagram came up, is this a new idea, or is this the company as a whole, or is this a rebranding?
It's a rebranding.
Okay.
We were originally Stannah Films, which we started in 2017.
And he was getting too much credit, right?
Way too much. It got exhausting.
I owned her.
I mean, something that was silver lining for us that came out of quarantine is we really reflected and refocused and recentered, and everything about this just fell
It was
into
like,
place.
as bad of a year as it was a great year in a lot of like other aspects, like, you know, being able just to sit and like, you know, like analyze the things that we really want to do, and, you know, like pulling out like strengths, you know, that we never really did before because of like just working all the time, blah blah blah, you know, like the bar life, you know.
Yeah.
And like we really got back to like our creative juices, which was fantastic, you know.
Yeah, and this rebrand was kind of our, like, the start of just being really reinvigorated and re-excited.
Yeah,
very-
like it was funny because with the name, like Annie started like a little macrame like business like during the quarantine, you know, where she was like selling like macrames. It was very cool, you know, like, and like
Awesome.
she named it, and there's this game on what's it called, Among Us, like, you know, the game Among Us where you like kill or whatever. And it was her name, but it was just all her initials. And she was like, "Oh, I wish I used that."
So
as
all my initials put together, it's Annie, Emma, Rosenberg, Stannah, which is AMROS,
arrows.
which is, and I was like, oh, I should have used that for the macrame company. And Matt was like, why don't we make it the film company? I was like, well, sure, but
There are
like,
plenty of
no,
things to name, Annie.
I am the most tunnel visioned human. I was like, okay, fine, we can name it. But like, unlike some people, I felt wrong about my name.
You came up with
about
Stannah Films.
my name
You said,
being-
"Let's call it Stannah Films." Why are you blaming me with this? Like,
You did. She may have presented it, but you
no,
accepted it.
Like
Sure.
years ago, when I said, "Let's do like, you know, like Warthog Films or whatever, like, you know, stupid names," and then she goes, "Why don't we do Stannah Films?" I go, "Oh, but it's my name. It's kind of weird." Like, she goes, "Oh yeah, but a bunch of like production companies do that." So I go, "All right, you said it." Like,
Okay, fine. Anyway, I
Blame
wasn't
me.
comfortable with it. So we very simply changed the E to an M, and then it's both of our initials now.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
the AMROS.
Well, okay, I actually wanted to ask you, like, there's a specific thing that is bothering me about you two.
Okay.
And it's not you guys, but it's the idea of like working with your husband, your wife. Like, it kind of reminded me of the Cradle and All film, where I was watching it and I was thinking, like, I can't imagine myself being this dedicated to someone, this hurt by someone leaving, you know. And then I was thinking about, like, well, they also like work together and they live together and they're quarantining together. Like, what do you guys do apart? And like, how do you guys define yourselves like apart? And like, how does that help you work together? You know?
Yeah, simply, we do not spend a lot of time apart.
I mean, we are like we
Fair
are
enough.
we are real like
and like
buddies. Like,
we really are. And I think, because this comes up a lot, and I think
comes up a lot.
the thing that I feel like people aren't really thinking about is, like, there is a stark difference between personal and emotional, like, respect and chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's professional respect and chemistry. And those are pretty mutually exclusive.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, you're good.
No.
Respect.
Yeah. And, like, I think when it comes down to it is whatever business you're starting, whatever your thing is, when you're looking for a business partner, if you do not fundamentally respect and are inspired by the things that they bring to the table, it's not going to work no matter what. You know, it doesn't matter who it is. And you can want to do these things with your significant other, and you can love them more than anything in the entire world. But if you fundamentally don't like the things that they do, you can't work together. It's just
Right.
that. So we are just incredibly lucky that, apart from our relationship, we just really like the art that each other makes.
No,
That's-
completely. Like one thing, like just to add to that is like when, like we are just like yin and yang. Like we are best buddies. Like we love spending time. We just have a lot of fun together, just in our private like home life and our social circle. Like we're just known like that. We just have a great time. We're goofy, everything. But one thing I do like, and it might sound random, when we do get professional with each other, there is frustration. I do like this fire that we have with each other. Like we argue, but like for a purpose.
Yes.
Like when we're on set and stuff like that, we will bicker, but we won't do a huge scene. We will bicker in each other's ears. Like, there will be several F-bombs with each other, whatever. but then later on, like, one of us will do a butt tap or something. And like, we're like, peace. Like, like, love you. Like, like it's cool. Like, and I like that about our relationship too, because it's not, we don't kiss each other's ass. Yeah. We're very fiery, like, and like, we're passionate about the things we want, but we always do come to a middle ground with each other, which I like. Like, like even with this new script, like I'm directing her, this Fireflies, this new movie that we're doing. And it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful script, like, and I'm so excited to do it. But then there are like, visions I have. And then like, of course, there are visions she has, And as the writer, I keep telling her, I go, back up. Like, you wrote it, give it to me. I'll go, like, but then you have to like come to that middle ground, like I talked about. So like, and the great thing is she says she loves, we love each other's art. That is true. I love her ideas. She loves my ideas. Like, and that's what I feel. That's what I feel makes the chemistry easy. Yeah. Like, like.
That probably helps you like with your married life, right? Is that like the other thing isn't something that you're looking at and going, I don't know, right?
Right.
Because you guys both have these like very defined personalities, and you like spending time with each other, but it doesn't seem like there's a dependency about it, right?
Right. Yeah.
It's like, sorry, no, go ahead.
No. Keep going.
There's this this Lebanese poet and writer, and he's a fascinating guy. He was called a prophet, and his first book was called Prophet, and then they started calling him a prophet, and he's like, no, don't call me a prophet. His name is Khalil Grisham. He's a fascinating guy. It's like that's like me from like 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. mid-coffee being like, I am God. No, I'm not. Go back to sleep. I'm God. No, don't call me God. No, but he said like to love each other is to stand alone together, right? Like the guitar strings are played together, but you can only pluck one. They only vibrate at the same time, right? Like the Colosseum, like if they're not standing equally distant from each other, holding up their own part of it, right? Like they're and that's what it seems like with you in both areas of your life.
It really is, and I think that maybe our downfall with anything is we are so in tune with each other, probably almost to a fault, that because we're living and working together and everything in our life is connected, if one of us is having a mental health day, it's really hard for the other one to get anything done.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, really I'm a moody bastard. Like, so like when I'm moody, like there's just like, it's like, and she's good, she's very cute and everything to like help me get out of it. But if I'm in that mood, I'm in that mood, and she tries, and then she doesn't like, because she's so productive. If I'm excited about something, oh, she's going wild. Like she's doing everything. Like, like she's so productive. But yeah, it's so true. I never really thought about that. Like we do like that does bring us down. Like that is a downfall. Like,
well, that's like,
especially right now, most of your work together is also at home, right? How do you balance like this time is this time is that, this time is work?
We don't. We're exploring new ideas and everything like 24/7.
Right.
We are both, I mean, it gets a little different once we're honing in and we're really close to filming a project, or we're towards the end of pre or post production and we're really on a schedule, but we try to actually do everything they say not to do. We don't keep a strict this is my list for the day, I have to get this done, this is my break time, we are like very free flowing, and we're gonna get our work done. We're very accountable to each other, so we're gonna get our work done, and if I see him and I know he has a bunch of things to do today, but he's sitting on the couch watching TV. I know that that's just what he needs to do right now, and it's gonna get done today.
Like like yesterday, like we had like 2 really long days of this casting, and like yesterday was 8 hours of casting, like and afterwards I said let's go get a drink, like you know, and that was kind of like our reward, like you know. Yeah, there's so much, but like I wanted to go get a drink. So we went to go get a drink.
You guys trust your process of.
Oh yeah.
This is going to happen. It's just I need to know and trust that it's going to happen on Annie's time, and need to know and trust it's going to happen on Matthew's time. Like
I respect her a lot because she does do a lot. Like we have our certain jobs, especially in production, but like Annie is like, what's it called? Like Annie, in a company, you're the tech person. IT, like the IT guy. She's
I would have gone with tech person. Yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, but she's so good. She's so good with everything. I mean, like with editing our projects, writing the projects. You know, like emailing everyone. Like you know, like talking to you guys. You know, like she said, "Oh, we have a podcast." I go, "Really?" She goes, "I'm like, oh shit, yeah, that's cool." Like you know, like she's very good like that, and I'm good at like organizing things. Like you know, like what the producer does, like. You want a DP? Yeah. I got you a DP. You want a sound guy? I got you a sound guy. You want a crew? Here's your crew. Like, you know, like I find it for her. Like, you know, but no. So you gotta respect. We do respect each other's jobs.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like.
And I think it also, like, speaking about respect and trust, also, like, I think it's interesting. Fundamentally, starting a company with your significant other is hard no matter what. It has its own challenges. But especially when you're talking about art, when being creative is such a personal thing, and a lot of the things that we as artists create are about what's going on in our lives. So you instinctually at some point are going to bring your significant other something you've written or something you want to do that is about the way that they've made you feel, good or bad. You know, there are things that you usually get to separate as your own artistic bubble that you are sharing with this person.
Like
you need a lot of trust there.
Like cradle on all. Like I mean that like the whole thing about that film was as sad and as emotional as it was about my snoring.
Yeah.
You know, she wrote that about my snoring. Like, you know, like she's
sweet.
she's got so used to like my obnoxious snoring that now it's a comfort thing to her. And when I don't snore, she's checking in for my life. Like, you know, like, you know, and that's where the whole premise of like
that was my favorite part was the ending. It was so heartbreaking when she plays the recording of the snoring. I was like, I'm in my dining room and I'm like teary eyed. My fiance walks in. She's like, "Are you okay?" I said, "No, I'm not okay." So
this is deeply troubling.
That's exactly what I want to hear. Thank you for saying.
We have a friend. Won't say names, but we have a friend who calls us probably once a month, twice a month, saying that he's watched it and in tears, like you can't stop, like calm down, like you know, like just in tears about this film. Like
it's weird that you would tell people like not to see your film like anymore. It's like, dude, you've seen it. It's enough. You know what's gonna happen. Please stop.
You ruin your day every time you watch it. Like
we haven't really spent time one-on-one with him since COVID and everything, but we would like go over to his house sometimes, and if he was like drunk and emotional, with us there, with like a group of friends, he would just turn it off and just sit there and weep.
Like
everyone there.
Whenever you're hanging out with them, it's like sort of a talent show for some reason.
Totally.
Like
we're doing this.
Yeah, who can top this? Because I'm crying.
That's like listening to a sad playlist in the middle of the day, like at a coffee shop, like energy. That's amazing.
Glutton for punishment.
Oh god. And like it bothers him because he knows us so well. So it's kind of like I think he really takes it. Takes it hard that I'm dead and like she's suffering.
He's like my nephews. They know that the movie's not real, but like sometimes Jackson forgets, and it's like where we were watching that
that new Pixar one with the elves and the half dad sort of thing, and he's like, "Where's the rest of the dad?" And I'm just like, Jackson, it's a cartoon. There are no cartoons in real life. It's a story. He was very worried about torso up.
Yeah, that is concerning for sure.
It was a little bit jarring, I think, for them just to be like, because it's literally about bringing someone back to life, you know. Yeah. But which is a
slippery slope to be putting the kids on.
Right.
I feel like the last two Pixar movies, this and Soul, have been like, let's get really into grief.
Like,
let's make it kid-like.
Like, you know, let's go back to Lion King killing fathers. Like, you know, like, I mean, like, you know, like, we're going deep now.
What happened to just toys having feelings?
Yeah, right.
Wait, Matthew, you just said, let's go back to Lion King, which is basically Hamlet. You're just that's like how did we get here for cartoons? It's just like, look, man, we can't really watch this movie about like this person's jazz soul, and it's very sad. I didn't see it. I'm assuming it's about his jazz soul. Let's go back to the childlike father being murdered by your uncle, and you know there's music. It's really about the music, right?
I mean, I don't know how us 90 kids got are normal, like with all.
Are we?
Yeah, you're right. Like I don't know, like with all these messed up like cartoons we watch, like there's some messed up shit, like
a ton of unaddressed trauma in our generation.
Like in every single movie, like drugs in Pinocchio. I mean, like trafficking in there, like
What is it's like they
rapey uncle in Aladdin, like,
right?
Yes.
They bent themselves like backwards so that they could make a film for kids, but like so adults can enjoy themselves too.
Yeah.
Honestly, like the biggest reason Disney Plus I think is around is for all of those 90s kids to like rewatch these movies of their childhood and be like this is deep dark themes that we just did not understand 20 years ago.
I freaked out when Disney Plus came. Like, I was like, what, 2 Christmases ago? Like, I freaked out.
You needed it.
I needed it. And she goes, are you sure? Like, and I probably watch it maybe once every 2 months. Like, I had a hissy fit about wanting. Really I'm like, come on, give me like paper. Come on, put on your credit card. Like, I'm like, no, we don't need it. Like,
put that giant expense on the credit card.
Like,
well, eventually there's going to be a million Marvel things and a million Star Wars things.
Right.
So at the very least, you're going to have a bunch of content to watch. That's what I like to call things that I don't think entirely are art. I just call it content. Yeah, because I mean, I like content.
I love that.
Yeah, but it's a different thing.
I really like content. I like Marvel movies. It fills up my time. It's fun, but like, I don't know.
Right.
Is it exactly like the same thing as watching that? Let's say like Mank. It looks really good. I haven't seen it yet, but like, looks like art at least.
Yeah.
So like, what type of films got you into this like field? Like, what were like some movies that are like, oh my god, I have to make films now?
Anything with Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
Across the board. He is my pinnacle of performance.
She would leave me for him.
Oh boy.
I would leave this podcast for him in a second. My marriage to Mitch. Yeah. I wouldn't feel bad about it.
Absolutely anything of his performances. I hold to a standard of I want to reach a quarter of it.
I don't know. I feel me and Annie like are on the same page with like the themes we like. You know, like I, as an actor, I'm a villain. I play villains in everything. If you see my real, like my manager like hates me. She's like, God, can you do something light and like a comedy, please? God damn it! Like, you know, like I did a shoot in Boston in October, and I played like this mean principal, like
not even a mean principal, like a schizophrenic middle school principal.
Anyway, so
I think you have to be schizophrenic to be a principal of a junior high.
Totally.
That is the worst age.
but
It's the worst age. Those kids suck.
So it was just so funny because I messaged her. I said, "Dude, I play a principal." Like, and she goes, "Yeah, that's great." Like, I go there, like it's in a big high school. There are a bunch of like high school extras. Like it's great. Like, it's gonna be good in my reel. She goes, "Yeah, he sent it to me." The filmmaker, like the director, he sends me like a cut of like a really cool scene in it. And of course, it's me like screaming at kids. And like, I said it to her, like, oh, look, this is what I did in Boston. She goes, "Ooh, an angry principal."
Oh my god.
She just doesn't get that she doesn't get it. Like, she hates the fact that I only do this. I try my hardest, like, to like get like good roles, but my reel is just get like an angry.
Now you guys are making some opportunities for yourself, and I think in Cradle and All, that was a really lovely character, and I think that you definitely have the capacity to be like a nice character, because when I met you, I liked you the first time. And I don't like anyone the first time that I meet them.
That's true. Me and John's relationship actually started by us not liking each other one bit.
I seriously disliked this guy. Yeah. I chased him. We were in swim team together, and he one time said that the show Heroes was bad.
Because it is.
We don't have to talk about it. We shouldn't talk about it. But then he jumps into the pool thinking he's gotten away from me, and he starts swimming, and all I do is follow him. Like, I jump into the pool after, and he turns around. The thing is, he does like a flip and turns around and starts swimming toward me now. And I'm just like, you didn't even get out the other side. Like, you literally just so like. I tossed him around a little bit, but like, it was always, for me, it was a little bit playful, because I'm like, this kid can think. I was I was maybe a bully, but like, I don't know.
Unconfirmed.
Yeah.
Aren't we all bullies at one point in our life? I mean, like, we're figuring shit out at that age.
Everyone is someone's bully.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
But you just do a podcast with yours. That's just where we
Right.
go.
This is really us getting out our like things that we haven't talked about that we really need to tell each other about. This is what this podcast is for.
It's a place to say sorry to all those people. Like, you're listening. I'm sorry.
It's gonna be a lot of him talking, because I'm not admitting to shit. Anything. No way. Recording? No. But so, Matthew, is this your first time directing in this new film?
No, like I directed a lot of theater, like, back in the day, like before COVID times. Like, I love it. It's gonna be my biggest film. Like, I co-directed a film with a partner of mine a couple of years ago for the 48-hour film festival. Like, but I'm very excited. This is like my first solo big, like a bigger budget film for me. So I'm really excited about that. Like, I'm excited to direct her. Mm-hmm. Like, I have a great cast, great script. I mean, I think this film's going to go really, really far. I haven't been excited for a project like this in a while. Like, so yeah. It's really exciting.
How do you balance, because you're naturally is acting what you would say like your first thing?
That's my main. Yeah, I'm mainly an actor, but yeah.
How do you balance and step away from like something that's so emotional and intuitive to something that still has the intuition, but like it almost needs the judgment to like hold on to the emotion?
I used my acting ability in my directing. Like, I feel like I am, as a director, I'm an actor's director. Mm-hmm. I feel like I can feel what they're feeling, or if there's a feeling I want, or like a moment I want, I can help them get there. Because I've had to do that in the past also. That's like, a lot of directors love working with me because I'm just very, Matt, do that. Like, I'll just do it.
Yeah.
It's like take wonder kind of thing, which I hate, but I love at the same time.
So
you're feeling like what they're feeling, but like you also have like the wherewithal to be like big picture.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do I get this naturally, or how do I get to this point?
I also don't want to be that guy. Like when we were doing these auditions, I don't want to be that director to like. I want all my actors to explore and like come up with the moment themselves, like their story. I want them to tell it through their eyes, their words. Like I don't want to be that guy to say, do this, like, you know, very TV, like, you know, I want it this way, you know, like, no, like I don't want to do that. Like it's a trap I find myself getting into sometimes. Like if I really want something, like with these actors, I was like, you know, like that part, like in that scene, like when you say this, like, can't do a, and I would stop myself and be like, well, you know what I mean, right? You know what I mean? Like, go, like, now do it. Like, you know, like
That's a good palate cleanser, is, you know what I mean? It's like,
you know,
this dude was just giving me a line reading, but like, he took it back, so.
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? Like, but,
And Annie, have you always been a writer? Or has this been coming from an acting area as well?
I always liked to write. The only, before the films that I've been writing over the past couple of years, I was very lucky growing up. My high school theater program was really well connected with the regional theater in the area, which is a pretty well-known regional theater, and we used to do a lot of things together. And
the ACT is in San Francisco, right?
ACT is in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one we worked with was TheaterWorks.
Oh yeah. My friend has worked there, and he said that because he went to ACT and then he did TheaterWorks, and he was like, this is a really good experience.
It's legit. They're exceptional. My mother is an actress as well. I grew up watching her at TheaterWorks all the time. It was a dream. But when I was in high school, they had a play competition, and I think like 3 of us won, and they put it up at TheaterWorks with equity actors, and it was like insane. And
awesome.
So that was, and
that would be insane.
It was really insane. And
I never knew that story.
There you go.
And there's
You're
one
welcome.
Act, so, yes. And that was like, after that, especially my mother was like, you need to write every day. Why aren't you writing? And it just wasn't a thing.
Your mother's a writer also.
She is. She
has a novel or something like she's writing.
And I just, like, over the years, it's just never a thing that I was really into. And then Matt gave me the best advice I have ever gotten in my life, because when I got out of acting school, he was pretty successful already in the independent film world. And I, like, total green. I was a total green-eyed monster, and I was so jealous, and I didn't know how to be as successful as he was. He was getting auditions all the time, and I didn't know how to do it. And he said, it takes a long time, but what I would say is, if people aren't giving you the work you want, make your own work and show them that you can do it. And that's when I started writing again, when he said
that's good. Well, like, a lot of this takes a lot of bravery to audition, to write, to jump into directing, to start a film company, right? To start a film company with someone that you have other emotional needs on the line with, right? How do you guys find the bravery to, like, jump in and out of these different situations each and every day?
Like, I don't know, like, it's the love, you know, like, it's like, you know, it's really the love. We got the bug, you know, and like, we just really want to create. Like, I've always, like, because like when I came here, like when I went to school and everything, you know, visas and everything being here, like, it was tough, you know, like, and I couldn't get an agent and things like that because of, you know, not having like a green card or citizenship or whatever like that, you know.
Yeah.
And so making my own work back in my days was what gave me the material, as you say, like, you know, like the content, sorry, gave me the content to show, like, you know, like to get my visas and everything to stay here. Like, I needed to do this work. Like I needed to do this to stay here. Like, you know, so like I started up a theater company, everything, you know, I did a bunch of, like, you know, off-Broadway productions. Like, I did to survive, to stay in this country. Like, you know, like, and, you know, like, I built my resume up hardcore, like, with stuff that I produced and, like, did myself. I wrote, like, I premiered like one of my first ever plays here, like back in the day, like which did really well.
I think also, like, at least for me, because especially when I was fresh out of school, like you have a lot of fear and doubt, and am I good enough, and is this humiliating, and why am I doing this? And I think it has come with feeling that for so long, and then also I think just getting a little older, that failing could not suck more than that feeling. So I may as well try.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
like
know?
I went through some time where after we got married, you know, just life kind of came in, you know, like, you know, we were moving apartments, you know, after a big expensive wedding, like, you know, we had to save up again, things like that. So like, you know, like the acting kind of like, took the back burner for a bit, like for me. And like one thing I discovered, like I felt like a little bit of like, as Annie said, like I was doing a bunch of like really cool stuff, you know, and I felt starting over again. I kind of like started back up, you know, like I lost a lot of connections, things like that. That's been a very interesting journey for me. Like, you know, like kind of like reconnecting with people and like finding new things. Like, you know, like, you know, like I love that Annie's into this world with me now. Like, you know, like, you know, I love that we can work together. I love that I can tell her, oh, I would love to play a character like that. And she goes, I'll write it. I go, really? You'll do that for me? Like, and like she'll write it. Like, I'm like, it's like
That sounds wonderful.
I get hard on it. I'm like,
All of a sudden, you're checking up on her the next day, like, how's that script going? Did you write that for me yet? Because like, I really want to do that.
Funny story, guys. Annie writes. So our short right now is going to be a little under 20 minutes, hopefully. This girl will. You know how she writes scripts? All-nighters.
Well,
she'll just every script she's written, she'll just like have a concept and everything, and then she'll stay up. She'll stay up all night, and the next morning, like I'll wake up, and like she'll be sleeping, but her phone will still be on because she goes to sleep watching Bob's Burgers. Like, so I know that she just went to sleep.
It's a good choice.
Bob's Burgers still on.
Thank you so much.
And I'll go outside and like the computer's on, and I'll scroll, and there's a fucking script. I'm like, what?
It's not that it's actually an all-nighter, because if you think about it, there's weeks or months of procrastination and I don't know what to do. And then one day I just sit down and I'm like, okay, I'm not getting up until there's
that's like
so really it takes like 6 months, but there's only one day of writing.
She has these hissy fits for several weeks about like, why am I even doing this? What stupid idea? No one's gonna care about that. And I'm like, hey, this is gonna be good. No, fuck it. And then just sit down and like,
I feel like
a beautiful script.
I feel like any self-respecting artist has a period of I'm the shittiest writer, actor, whatever that they have to go through.
It's not even like this feeling of, wow, I may not be as good as I think. It's like, wow, I might be the worst.
Annie, I feel so connected with you at that. Like before, when I moved to New York, I was feeling like exactly that same way. And like, I felt like I was procrastinating almost to the point of like, well, do I care? And then I found out it's actually because I care deeply, you know, that I'm procrastinating.
Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. It's caring so much that, like, and it comes back to that entire fear idea that, like, if you don't I have this all the time, that if I don't put out a product that is perfect, which does not exist and is not a word, but whatever that unattainable thing is to me, if I don't put out a product that's perfect, why even start it? And that's something I've really had to fight myself on.
She's really, like, I have to say that's something also, like, I'll read something and if she, like, and it would be amazing, and like, and if she is not happy with it, there's no way we're going forward with it. Like, I mean,
well,
like,
I just have to do another.
I know, but she does her thing, but she goes to her.
Do you sleep though?
Yeah.
I feel that, but like that's it's tough to balance that, especially I feel like for me, wanting that like perfection, wanting it to be like so good that like no one can say no to it is hurtful in a lot of ways, but like it does help you. Like, do you find like, and if you like handle it correctly, it can help you?
I mean, like, as much strife as it's put me through, I wouldn't change it because I would hate to not put something out that I think is as close to perfect as I can make it? Like, what's the? I don't feel the passion and the like whatever itch I need to scratch when I have to get one of these things done. Like whatever that creative thing is for me, it's scratched when I have that feeling. When I'm like, wow, I killed myself over this, but I am so happy.
What I love about being married to someone like this and also being my partner is that, as I said throughout, like I do give myself a bit of credit. I'm very good at producing things and things like, you know, like getting a project off the ground. I'm good at figuring that out and making it a reality, like, you know, in some shape or form, like, you know. And
well, you had to do that when you, I mean, for the green card, right? Like
you know, like
not second nature.
My issue though for a long time was getting the projects, you know, like and then I would like push myself to write, cause like I write, but I'm nowhere in this league, whatever. Like I write, you know,
You're a wonderful
but no, I'm not like this, but I would push myself, but like I get so frustrated, like, but with her being able to like, I use her, as I said, like if I want a certain character, she'll write me a character. I get to act like in a dream role, and it'll be an awesome script. And so all I need to do is just get off the ground, which I'm good at, which is awesome. That's what I love about this partnership. Yeah. I love that about this partnership. Like, you know, I can play all the psycho roles I want. Like, you know, like
when you look at like the beginning of your relationship, do you think that there were like telltale signs that like you guys do balance each other out in a way, or is it really just like that you guys lucked into like, by the way, the person that I'm in love with is also like the perfect like business partner?
There's an outrageous amount of luck involved in this. Like there can't not be.
Well, and screw you guys.
Sorry. I mean, it takes effort too. We gotta try.
We lucked out.
Sure.
We also like. I mean, there were signs at the beginning, because even like before we were married, when we were dating, we would bartend together, and people couldn't believe that we bartended together.
Oh,
and
we could do work together. Like,
I mean, we could.
Yeah, like
we had more fun and learned more about each other and got more connected bartending than we ever did spending a Saturday morning together.
We used to do this thing, like no matter what restaurant it was that either of us worked at, on New Year's, we would ask either one of the jobs, whatever, that we worked together on New Year's. So they would kick the other bartender out, and it'd just be us working New Year's at whatever restaurant it was.
Yeah, we did that
and
for
we're just like,
years.
Oh yeah, but every restaurant adored us doing that. They're like, yes, please, like, you'll work. Like,
there is something that strengthens our relationship when we have like a task to complete together. That is really healthy for us. When we are both focused on the same thing, we vibe.
We're going.
Well, when you guys retire and are super old, what I'm hearing is that you guys are going to be like puzzle people.
Oh no, we tried that. We tried that. We tried
when you're old.
Yes, we need things to do. We are not going to be puzzle people though, because Matthew bought me a puzzle for Christmas.
1,000 piece. Like,
I was so focused on it. It was my everything for days.
It was like weeks. It was like 2 weeks.
And he broke it when it was like.
I was playing with a dog. And like,
when it was like a third of the way done.
No.
He broke it.
That wasn't a fun day. Like,
no.
Was it the dog, or was it like the lack of attention that you were getting?
No,
this fucking puzzle. I miss my wife.
This is the dumbest present I've ever given her.
Goddamn New York skyline. Ugh.
You're certainly onto something too, because it took up the entire coffee table, which meant that he couldn't eat in front of the TV, and I think that was part of it.
That's an issue.
That's
an issue. I forget which actor said this, but like, in terms of like the dumbest but probably the best, like, it was Sam Rockwell. Sam Rockwell was like, answering a question about like, what should you do if you're going to be an actor? And he's like, get a really good TV. Like, I guess, but like, is that really what we're doing?
You know what's so funny about us?
Step 2, right?
Yeah.
We love good like indie films, because it inspires us. but we're not big TV junkies. Like, I mean,
No.
we don't watch a lot of TV or like movies in that sense. Like, we don't. Like, so many people will say, "Have you seen this movie?" I'm like, "No." Have you seen it? No. You've never seen?
No, I
No.
want to make.
Like, I mean, like, I'd make them, but like, you know, like
Yeah.
I'll come up
Right.
with a concept one day, and like someone will say, "Oh, that's already been done." I go, "Oh, damn it, should have watched that movie." Like, you know, like, but, like
Oh, you know, the highest grossing movie of 2019.
Not recently.
I watched The Party. I go, "That was my idea." Like, you know?
Well, you know, I've only been in one short film personally, and it was like it was part of a 48-hour film festival out in Chicago, and it was like a 10-minute thing, and I was there all day.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
so I guess like take us through like what a typical day is. Like if like you got everybody there, like what do you do? Like what's like maybe not like hour by hour, but like
Yeah.
the stuff you got to
We
do.
do it.
but like minute by minute.
Should we
Right,
do?
yeah.
Like, should we do
Um,
what's yours? Like
yeah.
how that works?
So
Like,
yeah. So for What's Yours, which is the 5-minute horror that you watch, that was a 2-day shoot for a 5-minute film.
Oh.
We were on set, I think,
From
about
11:30.
7 hours a day. So that was 14 hours of filming for 5 minutes.
yeah, like
and-
we. So I was lucky enough. The restaurant that I work at, Thirsty Koala. Like, I'm very close friends with the owner, and she allowed.
Yeah, we've
us
heard
to
good
use-
things.
Yeah, so like she allowed.
Not like
us
that
to-
other place.
No, we don't talk.
No.
What place? I know. She allowed us to shoot, and she was a rock star. She was there with us from like 11:30 till 6 in the morning, like every
Wow.
each night,
Yeah.
like, you know, like shooting and like.
So with that shoot, we were the first day we tried to just how we prefer to do our shoots if it works with locations is we try to start with the largest cast possible and then
So they can get out,
slowly
like-
start cutting people as the days go on or the hours go on or whatever it is. So we started with our extras that first day. We did about 3 hours of setup and choreography with the extras, and
Yeah, because there's like 4 or 5 different workers, right? Servers, and then
Mhm.
yeah, guests
So
as
we-
well.
So we started with that. We like personally, and I think this comes from us both starting out as stage actors, is there is a incredible benefit to a performer to get to do a film as in order as possible. And it's
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
hard, but I mean, when you grow up and you learn your love of acting on stage, you think of it like a sport, you know, and you got to do it in order. So we try to
Absolutely.
do that as much
Like
as we can.
that I remember when I first released, like this years ago, when I first really started getting into film, and I did one of my more bigger like films I did was this film called Cardinal Matter out in Wyoming, and I remember, this is funny how Annie talked about we were so used to theater where it's like from the beginning to the end, and I had my climax hardcore scene, and it was like day 2, and they're like, "All right, Matt, you're doing that tomorrow." I go, "What? I have to what? I haven't done anything yet. Like how am I going like to that intense scene right now? Like right now, like, and like you learn it. And it's cool. Like it's cool to like have that muscle memory now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
So yeah, we try to do everything in order. It's really important to keep everything on set as precise and professional as possible when it comes to the exact time that a break is going to happen and making sure that everyone's fed and everyone's happy and
like, yeah, we do simple things. The one thing that I pride ourselves on our production is like when you do like these like smaller budget productions and like there's pizza, you know, like we try and like invest a bit to have like, you know, a dear friend of ours, like, you know, we'll buy the ingredients and they'll cook like a family meal, like have a good
Aw.
salad and like, you know,
Nice.
like a nice pot roast or something,
yeah,
you know, like
we want good food
we
on
want
our
good food because
sets.
like I remember a while ago with a couple of partners of mine, I did a shoot and I got the chef from that place to come that place we were talking about to come and cook like a whole, and like I remember all the extras were just like, whoa, this is unreal, like, you know, like the food's so good. I might get a full like buffet of like stuff. They weren't being paid, they give us their time. I might as well feed them really well, like,
yeah,
you know,
we're
like
really
Yeah.
serious about
like, you know, if I'm not
small
paying
things
you, like I
that.
want you to feel appreciated, like, you know, like,
Mhm.
but
well, that also, I mean, you guys, you know, obviously want to be attracted to good people, right? So like putting yourselves in the room together as well, like it does like lift the bar, raise yourselves, right, to match like the person that you're with, you know, because you guys do have so much like riding on like just your relationship and the professional relationship. It kind of makes you the best you can be, like, more often than not, right? Because
I think so. I think at least I have this feeling. I always have a feeling that I have something to prove. That's just how I live my life. But I think that there is something about being, I mean, the only filmmaking company owning couple that we know that there's a lot. You want to really prove that you can do this together, you know?
Yeah.
A lot of it's hard for people to imagine that we can do it.
There's
we
there's like a couple like that inspired me, like kind of reminds me of us, is like it's an LA company, Front Galley Productions. So like Madeline and Mark, you know, like he's a magnificent DP and she's an incredible director. Like, you know, like I did a film with them, the Carlo Matter movie, and like watching them, and that was like that was a 2-month shoot. Like, and I was out in Wyoming for 2 months with them, and like watching them that entire time, and that was an intense feature. Like they were like wonderful together. Like they were like all the time, like to the point, like on the rap party, I woke up in their bed with them, like just like in the middle, drunk. Like they're just such a cool like couple. But to watch them work together was powerful. Also, like that's the only couple I know that like
they are wonderful.
They're like wonderful like that.
But yeah, I mean, I think that as soon as you don't feel like everything is riding on every project, there's something wrong. You know,
Right.
I want to feel like everything is on the line every time.
We also learn a lot. Like one thing I've learned a lot with Annie about like the film circuit, like the festival circuit. I mean, like all this kind of stuff. You know, like this year, like like with Creator and All, like it was a good film, but I think we got. It was our first film together that we shot. I think we got arrogant. We're like, let's submit it to Sundance. Tribeca. Like, you know, like
our eyes were way bigger than our stomachs.
Like we weren't there.
That's
yet,
okay.
And so like,
but we had to learn that.
But like this new film now, we submitted to like a bunch of like smaller but vast, like, you know, like horror festivals, and we're blowing through things. We've already won awards. Like it won what festival was it? It won like best director and best
director
sound.
and best sound.
We got nominated
Awesome.
for best scare, best script. Best,
Oh,
you know, like,
nice.
You know, like in just one festival.
We're learning
like,
so many things.
And so things like that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, just get your name out there in like a lot of small little places instead of one big place. Like, you know, like.
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like every time we start a new project,
we learn a lot.
There is something that we learned from the last one that is like that ups everything about our skill level. Like, and it could be anything. It could be about pre-production. It could be on set. It could be post-production. But we walk into the next project every time being like, wow, look what we just learned. I can't wait to do it now.
Yeah.
You know, it's like so fun.
You know what though, like that with that mentality, right? Like that's going to serve you hopefully beyond the time when like the lessons are very obvious, right?
Right.
Because right? Like if it's like, well, you know, next time maybe don't like actually set a fire to the street when I'm filming something. Hey, kind of a throwback, right? Like we could do this instead. But like little stuff, like I noticed that when I talk to like my lighting person, like about this way, right? It wasn't a big deal, but they were like a little bit frustrated by it, right? Like what do you think are like some of like the actual small, like harder to learn like lessons you've learned?
I think time management on set is a huge one. That is
taking too many hats for me. Like, I mean, like my issue is like I ruin things sometimes by wearing too many hats. Like, I mean, like being a
because
producer,
you're good at
acting
it,
and
right?
and it's cheaper. You know, it's cheaper for me to do all this. You know, like do it myself to make it happen. But sometimes it ruins like things because like I love acting, but I want to give like a character a lot more time, but then I get caught up in other aspects of this. So once it gets to set, I'm like freaking out because I feel like I haven't prepared enough for like my scene or something like that. You know, that's something I have to learn to trust other people and give them that job. Like, you know, like I stress myself out on set a lot in that way. Like that's sometimes where our fights come in, because I'm like, I rush out for a cigarette. She walks out. Are you okay? I go, not now. Like,
I
Damn.
feel that.
I mean, I think that the main thing that is sort of, it feels like you're going to be successful at it every time and you're better at it every time, is you can never be more prepared, like prepared enough to get to set.
Sure.
You know,
Sure.
there's always something more that you can be adding that's going to make being on set smoother and cleaner and get you a better shot and get you a better performance. And there are always more things you can be doing. So like,
Yeah.
the stage management brain needs to come out of what is the smallest thing that I could do or bring or write down or have ready that is going to cut 5 minutes and is going to make everything easier. And you learn a new one of those every time. You learn a new 8 of those every time, you know?
Yeah.
I love that.
Luckily you pick up like 2 or 3, right? At least.
Yeah. Some of them you gotta mess it up like 3 times for it to really dig in there.
Yeah, like this, like in What's Yours, the second day was a very stressful day. Like the first day went very smooth, everything, and we got to the second day, and looking at the script, it's like, oh yeah, it's gonna be a shorter day. Oh no, we screwed up so bad, because like in this one small scene, there were just so many angles and shots, and like that, then it was like, we're not gonna finish this film. We're not gonna finish this film. We have no time. The sun's gonna come up. Like, it's like continuity. We can't do another day. Like, we're like, what are we gonna do? Like, so yeah, the time management that way, it's just like, figuring out the little tricks of like the film world to like make something work without ruining your film.
Yeah.
Right. And also like check the weather app or something.
Yeah. Always check the weather app. I think also
we actually had a rain scare. Yeah.
For like we had a rain scare for that film. I think the other thing is that, and I'm very thankful for this, is we're slow. I mean, we're getting older. We're slowly getting more excitement about our films. We're getting more producers and higher budgets. And like, I'm very thankful that we didn't start like this, because I am really glad that I know how to make a good film when all we can afford to eat is rum. You know, like, I'm glad I did that first, because no matter what,
you have to do that first.
You do.
Like, I mean, like one thing, like Annie, like, funny, throw her under the bus a little bit. It's like, you know, when she first got out of school, and she'd say, "What about this festival?" I'm like, of course, like, I had done it. Like, when I was fresh out of school, I'd be like, "Oh, hated that festival," and so it made her not want to do it, because I said no. But I said, you have to do those things.
You have to start somewhere
down and build yourself up.
Yeah,
well,
but
it's like building. I hate saying building a wall now, because fuck the context, right? But like, you build wide, right? You don't just go build tall.
Right.
Or else there's all these other things, these lessons on the outside that you kind of missed out on.
Yeah, and it really becomes, if you keep your head down and you just promise yourself that you're going to get it done no matter what, like, the growth in everything is exponential. You know, the good things come. You just gotta keep your head down and be thankful for the journey.
One thing, but something will always come. Like, you know, like, a connection or a moment. Like, you know, you don't know. Like, you know, just.
Like you know, I was at a job that I didn't particularly care for, and I met these 2 guys. Well, 2 people, sorry. Not to gender you.
That's okay.
Right? And now, like, we're on the podcast. That's what like even just like life is about, right? Like, it can come from anywhere. Yeah.
Well, so, you know, before we wrap up, we wanted to give you guys an opportunity to explain to our listeners what you got coming up. I know you mentioned Fireflies, but, you know, if you could give us a recap of like what's all on the horizon for AMROS.
Yeah, absolutely. So right now, our closest project is a short film called Fireflies. We're filming at the end of March. It's a film that I wrote about a man in his 60s-ish who recently lost his wife of a long time. And he is an incredibly logical, kind, wonderful person, but he is so loving, but he has kind of lost his connection with reality after she's died, because he just can't fathom a world that would take her away. does. He no longer understands anything about the world, and he becomes obsessed with conspiracy theories because he's trying to figure out a new way to think about the world. And the film centers around this main actor's 2 adult children coming over for dinner, and they're watching their father go through this incredibly traumatizing spiral, and as they also try to deal with the death of their mother. And we kind of come to realize that no one is better or worse for how they're dealing with the loss of a loved one. Everyone's just doing it differently.
And then by the end of it, they all do come together. Like after feeling that they've lost everything by losing their mother, they find out by the end that they haven't lost everything. They still have each other. Like,
yeah. That sounds beautiful.
Oh, yeah, it's a stunning script, and so we're in our campaign stage right now, like our Indiegogo campaign stage. And, we have several more weeks left of that. So
and everyone's been so wonderful and supportive.
We've had is amazing. Like we understand, like during like a time like this, not everyone financially can help, but just the fact that people are just sharing our story, like on Facebook and Instagram, things like that. It's like getting the word out, like that means the world to us. I mean, it really does.
Yeah,
like
we're so excited. We're also
amazing.
And we're so lucky with everything that we've done and the connections we've made. The crew we have for this film is insane. I mean, dream crew. Really incredible. Like,
that's awesome.
I have moments that I don't know how I'm gonna act because I want to watch them do their jobs.
That's why I'm excited about this. I finally get to work like with this crew, but not be their actor. I get to be behind the monitor all the time. I'm so excited.
They're so wonderful, and they've become such dear friends. And this is like everything we always wanted. It's
awesome.
Like we made our little team, which is fun.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And where can we find the other stuff that you've worked on? Where can other people find that?
So we have all the content that we're posting is on our Instagram at AMROS Films, AMROS. We also are in the process of rebranding our YouTube presence to put out the films from the past that we've made. Our website's coming as well, which is going to be amrosfilms.com, which is going to have all our content on it. And we are also with our horror What's Yours, because it's on the film festival circuit right now. It's actually can't be made public yet, but because film festivals are all virtual right now, every time one is in a festival, we're posting about it. And a lot of these festivals have incredible deals just to sit in your home and watch a ton of independent film, including ours.
Yeah, most of these festivals now are virtual, so like.
Yeah, so we're letting everyone know about that.
Yeah, spectacular, guys.
Really exciting. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming by and talking to us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, that was a blast.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And to all of our audience members, they do seem happy. All right, bye, guys.
Bye.
Well, thanks for listening. That was our interview with AMROS Films. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're great.
They are super interesting people, super fun people that I would love to get to know.
Watch out for them in the future. We actually might have one showing up later on, and I'm sure we'll have the other on as well.
Yes, yeah, look out for, I know some of their stuff is on YouTube right now because of, pandemic. They've been able to release some of their stuff that they have out, so be on the lookout for that. They also have an Indiegogo campaign.
Yeah, Indiegogo
project.
Fireflies, independent film, Indiegogo. Take a look, donate if you can. They're doing this all from the ground up, and they're doing it with a lot of heart, and we should support them. Yeah,
support art, guys. It's just you get.
This is our first preaching moment to you, guys. Support art. How dare you not support art?
Well, I saw in their Indiegogo campaign, if you give like $10 or $20, you get like nice posters or like nice little perks that they send you too.
I want a poster. Is it a promise poster, or are you making something? Okay, are you? Maybe we should check before we promise posters.
At least it was when I looked at it last time.
They're gonna
Don't hold
message.
us to it.
They're gonna message me being like, "Now we have to make these goddamn posters." You idiots! It would have been better if we didn't fund the money at all, which isn't true. Go give to them, please, because
Yes.
yeah, they're excellent people. Check them out on @AMROS Films on Instagram as well. See what they have coming up in the future, because I don't think it's ever going to stop for them. It sounds like they just keep going. Yeah.
Speaking of following people on Instagram, you should follow us at 2-Person Echo Chamber. Well, we also have a Twitter. You should follow
2PEC, 2PEC.
2PEC. We'll also put our, Instagram and Twitter handles on the pod, so you can follow us for general stupidity. And but thanks for listening, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Talk to you. Bye. Bye. Bye.